Hi everyone, today we are going to create a Paris themed tutu in our tutorial. Now we're going to do a little bit different, so I'm going to tell you the supplies that you're going to need, and then I'm going to show you this one part, and then I'll get back with you and we'll do the actual creation process. Alright, the supplies we're going to need for this particular Paris themed tutu is we're going to need some type of base. We're going to be using a 9 to 10 inch hand-sewn crocheted top, and you can get that by the yard at several different places. Check Amazon, fabric.com has it. Prices vary anywhere from $4.99 a yard to $20 a yard, so just do your research on it. You can use an elastic base if you want. You can use a short crocheted band, a pre-made crocheted top, ribbon. But for ours, we're making on between 9 and 10 inch crocheted top for a preteen. And you'll need your Paris themed ribbon, your main color of your tutu, and then an accent color. For us, we're using Paris pink, or hot pink if you will, and the accent color is going to be black, because the ribbon that we've chosen is pink with like a shocking pink accent and black. So that's what we're doing. You'll need your clothespins, wooden, and some dowels if you're going to use your ribbon that curls as accent. Some Paris themed charms if you want to hand sew them on or glue them on. A hot glue gun or needle and thread. Your fabric scissors. And I think that's about it. If there's anything along the way that I've forgotten, I'll be sure to mention it later on in the video. Alright, now, to make this style curling ribbon, we're using gross grain ribbon, and this is, I think it's 7/8 inch. And it looks like this when you first get it. You'll need your dowel if you want it to curl, okay? So first things first, get your supplies ready. This you can do ahead of time and then go back and make your tutu. Alright, cut the length that you're going to need. Heat seal the ends. Now a lot of people, when they're making the curled gross grain hair bows, say that you don't need to do that until the end. For me, it's just easier, then I don't have to worry about fraying at all. Pick your starting point. It's really easy, guys. It took me a few times to get the hang of it, though. So get your first clothespin. Now, you're going to readjust this. So don't worry about it too much. Now, just wrap it as tight as you want. The tighter that you wrap it around your dowel, the tighter the curl once it's all said and done. And you're kind of doing it at an angle so that it goes all the way down the dowel and you don't have too much overlapping. Alright? Then take your clothespin, your second clothespin, and close it up. And that's what it'll look like. Now what I was saying, readjusting it. If it looks like it's a little off, then you can simply go back, put your clothespin back on it, twist it a little, and it'll retighten it for you. And that's it. Now, take a spray bottle of water, or good water, up to you, and lightly spray it. I'm not saying saturate it, guys, just lightly spray it. Put all of your dowels that are completed on a cookie sheet and have your oven set at 250 degrees. And it'll take anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, depending on your oven, for them to be ready. And then this is what happens. Now they have all kinds of different sizes of dowels. You know, the thinner, the tighter you can make the curl, the fatter, the wider the curl is going to be, and the looser. So that's all based on your preference. But this is what you get. And it doesn't matter, you know, the length. Just depends on how much ribbon you need to use. You can find your dowels, your clothespins, check Amazon, your hobby store. You can get the wooden clothespins at grocery stores. I'd also check dollar stores as well. Anyway, then you'll just get these all done, take them off, or leave them on there until you're ready to work with them, and it'll just really ensure that curl staying longer. And put them to the side, and we'll get started creating the tutu dress in just a moment. Alright, before we get started with the placement, I wanted to show you the other tool. This is our accent color. Now this is premium black tulle, or you can use a shimmer tool or a glitter tool for your accent, just as fancy as you want to go. If you are doing the glitter, I suggest that you do it in strips, okay? And the reason why I say that is when you tie it, it's a little bit harder to work with because it's coarse. Now, you do not need long strips, so I do recommend the 3-inch rolls or the 6-inch rolls for easy use. Right, so decide how long you want it to be. I'm doing basically a 6x6 square piece. And now I'm going to do 3 strips. Okay. Now you can put them together. And if you're measuring more precisely, it'll be easier for you. But I'm just going to cut it at an angle so that way we have that pixie kind of cut. Just a little bit, and then it makes it a clean edge. I don't know if you can see that on here or not, but it's just like a angle, okay? So now I'll show you real quick what you're going to do, and we'll do it together on the pink. But all you're going to do is you're going to fold it like this over your piece of tulle, your top layer of tulle. If you want to do more layers, it's fine. But you're just going to want to make sure that you've cut it long enough that you can actually tie it. Okay, that's the key. So if 6 inches, or really 5 after you angle it, is not enough for you to be able to work with, because I have fat fingers. So sometimes I got to cut it a little bit longer so it's easier to work with. But all we're going to do is we're going to tie it on our piece of tulle. Okay, so just make sure that the width isn't too fat so it's hard to work with, and the length isn't too long where it's too heavy. And I'll show you what I mean when we start placement. But this is what it's going to look like. It's going to be, you know, one simple knot on your tulle. So again, if you've had the rolls, it's a lot easier and quicker. The bolts work too. It's just you have a big piece. You know, they're usually like 50 to 60 inches in width, and you're not going to need that much depending on how many layers you're doing with this as the accent. Let me show you the difference when working with the glitter. And this is why I say, you know, strips is much better to work with instead of like big huge pieces. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and angle this, and I'll just show you on my finger how hard it is to make that knot without it looking too big. See how big that is? And yeah, we're going to tighten it, but it's still going to look a lot bigger on your glitter tool. So let's get to placing, and then I will show you what it looks like as we go through it. So I've started putting the tulle on, and this is going to be anywhere from 3 to 5 layers. It's just going to be based on what I want it to look like at the end result. Okay, I'm going to stagger it, and we're doing the slip knot method. So you're going to take your piece of tulle that you've cut, you're going to fold it in half, and if you're staggering it, you're not going to bring the ends together as closely as you would if you want it to all be the same length. So I'm just lifting one tail a little higher. See? So here's the end of one, and then down here is the other. that up a bit for you. Okay, and I'm not starting on the very, very bottom because this thread can break on you and ruin your whole crochet top. So what I'm doing is I'm starting the second hole. I'm going to put it through on the third hole, and I'm going to bring it through to the second hole that's right below it, or a little diagonal to it. Widen it with my fingers so I can work with it easily. Bring it through, gently tug the tails down, and there you go. Remember, you don't have to pull real tight and make tight knots, because if you do that, you're going to ultimately stretch out your base. Whether it be an elastic base or a crocheted top, you're going to stretch it out, and it's not going to be the same size that you originally started with. Again, take your tulle piece, fold it in half, stagger it if you want, having one tail a little higher than the other. Squish that top part right here, and the only reason why you're doing that is so it's easier to work through your crocheted hole. Bring it through the crocheted hole, having it go under, right below it. I'm sorry, I've got this hole right here, okay? I'm going to bring my folded area through that hole, and then right below it is the hole that I want it to come out of. So bring it through. Make sure that you have a wide enough area to bring the tails through. And this is more important when you're working with flock tulle or specialty tulle, if you will, and that glitter tulle. It makes a difference if you have enough space to gently tug down without damaging your tulle or your crocheted top or band. And gently tug. And that's what it looks like. So I'll finish these layers up for you, and then we'll do the accents and the rest of the placement of the Paris theme to really make this tutu dress all about Paris. Alright, so I'm trying to show you how it's staggered just a bit, see if you can see that. And then I'm going to add some more tulle. We're not finished yet, and it'll be a little shorter and so forth and so on. It won't be drastically shorter, just a little bit. But this is turning out really lovely. I hope you can see it. See, and we're going to, of course, embellish the top area and go from there. But I wanted to make a special note to tell y'all, the lighter colored tulle seems to be softer, and with it being softer, it likes to cling more. So you can use a little bit of starch if you'd like, or you can use your fabric softener and water solution. It's 3 parts water, good drinking water, distilled water, just good water, and 1 part of your style fabric softener. I think we have in here it's Downy, the regular original scent, and it smells good, and it helps with all that static cling. You can even see after we've sprayed it. This light colored tulle just seems to do that, and it's already been sprayed, so I've got it pretty well manageable now. But I wanted to make a special note of letting you know this. You can also use hairspray. I would suggest using the hairspray though, like right before you're going to go out to an event or a party, get together, whatnot. That way it'll last up to a few hours. Alrighty? Okay, let's get to the rest of this. Alright, we've got 3 different tools as an accent that you can use, 3 varieties. You have your black base color, and then you have some silver glitter tulle, and you can get a variety of colors of tools, glitter tulle out there. And this is just the regular glitter tulle, alright? It's not too coarse, it's a little bit, stiffer than your regular premium tulle right here. That's just black. You can also get the honeycomb shape, and let me see if I have a bigger piece so you can see it. And all it's saying is it's coarse and it's stiff And see how it's kind of like honeycomb shapes? And it's harder to work with, but it's really lovely. And this is going to stay just like that. Just the way that I put it up. It'll stay like that for a long period of time. Honestly, I don't see a big enough difference. It does cost more in this one versus the regular glitter tool. I don't see a big enough difference for me to only use this type. And then your premium. An alternative, if you're making this for an infant, is your shimmer, glimmer, or shiny premium tool. They go by, I think, 3 or 4 different names. And instead of this being like matte colored, it has a shine to it and it looks really pretty. And you can use that, and then you don't have to worry about glitter falling anywhere or it being a little too rough on a child's skin, nothing like that. But it's going to be on the top layer, so it's not that big of a concern. But the mess, it's worth buying the shiny. Alright, so I'm going to show you real quick. The problem with your honeycomb or your coarse tool, okay, or if you're working with mesh, is the knot. Now you see this one is a pretty small knot. It looks nice, looks clean, and all of that. The reason why that one does, in comparison to this one, is because after I cut the strip, I folded it in half. I don't like using my fabric scissors on coarse tool or coarse mesh or anything like that. Honeycomb mesh, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so I folded it in half, making sure that the tails are about equal. I'm making my angled cut. Now I'm doing another cut at the folded area. I'm cutting like this. Then I'm going to the other side and I'm cutting it like that as well. And now the middle is skinny. And that will allow you to make the knot smaller for you. And let me show you real quick. Placement on any of the tool. Where you want to place it is entirely up to you. Obviously, because it's your creation, it's what you're envisioning. But for me, I put it at the bottom, quote unquote bottom, but not all the way at the very bottom. So I'd say about 3 inches from the bottom is where I'm placing them. Alright, so you get your piece of tool. You're not folding it in half. You can do this with ribbon as well. All we're doing is taking the top piece of the tool tail, picking our spot where we want to put it, now make sure you have the tails the same length on each side if that's what you're going for. And just put one tail piece over the other, then under through the hole that you made with your finger. Okay, and that's how you have it. And then tighten. Again, totally up to you. I don't really see a huge difference when I'm using the honeycomb as an accent in comparison to the glitter tool that's less expensive. I do have to say that since it is stiffer, it'll stay like this pretty easily. But I mean, this one doesn't look bad either. So I'll go ahead and put the rest of these on for you, and then you can see what that looks like. We're going to use these. Are they not cool? Little Eiffel Towers. And these can be sewn on or hot glued on. The determination is really, for me, when I think about it, it's based on how heavy these are, however, whatever accent I'm using, whatever embellishment I'm using, how heavy is it, and what age am I making these for. But hot glue really sticks to the tool, so that again is up to you as well. So I'm going to place the rest of this, and then we still have the top to make as well. So you can have your all glitter as your accent, or you can do every other one. But remember, you're just putting this on the top layer, so you're not going to spend a whole bunch of money on yards and yards and yards of this. So you really have a lot of options here. Or you can use ribbon, like I said, and we still have the crocheted top to make or to add embellishments to. And of course, as I showed you in the very beginning, we have our gross grain Paris themed ribbon to place on here as well. We're going to go ahead and end this video right now. We've got part 2. Take a look at it. It'll show you with all the creations on it, the last parts of the video, and show you what our model looks like in the finished Paris themed tutu dress. We thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Remember, anything that you create is going to be fantastic. Why? Because you took the time to create it. From my family to yours, have a blessed day.